Hi guys, Lana here, coming at you with another tutorial. This one's going to be kind of long, and the reason that I put this clip in the beginning is because it was actually the first nail that I did that inspired me to do the tutorial. I never actually ended up even doing all, you guys know I like to do 2 different hands, so I never ended up doing all 5 fingers, but I wanted some time to explain a little bit about how this video is gonna go. Try to make it as short and sweet as possible, but you know that's not always practical. Anywho, while I had no intentions of actually doing this nail and it was a complete accident, I really hope you guys enjoy the tutorial, and yeah, let's get started. So first things first is make sure that you dehydrate the nail plate and prime it. Those are 2 things I do consistently. Always get questions if I use both dehydrator and primer. The answer is yes. It makes for better adhesion to the natural nail, between the natural nail and acrylic. There is a little bit of nude left because I literally had an idea for something, didn't like it, and soaked it off 5 seconds later, but that's okay. The next step is a clear bead of acrylic for my base that I attach right at the free edge, and I kind of build out slightly. I do not always build this as long as the nail is going to go, depending on what I'm doing, but the purpose of this is just also to basically make sure that little area underneath the nail doesn't have a ridge and looks nice and clean. Alright, so here's when I started to add the color, and when doing this, it's kind of slightly like a marble effect, which is why I like it, because nothing is ever precise or the same. But again, I was just testing this out. The image reference that I actually had was a thermal infrared image. So if you guys need something to kind of go off of outside of this video, just for inspo or different areas to place certain colors, make sure you pull up some images, because that was definitely my inspiration. And here I went back to add a little bit of clear on the little bit of natural nail plate you can see, especially because I was using black. And black, as well as red and yellow, kind of stain the nail plate sometimes. Though I always typically add clear over it. But as you can see, the nude was still there, so I didn't really need to. Still looking at my image reference though, I continued to place black in the areas that I wanted. And then I followed suit with different beads of mixtures of black with a little bit of the purple. I will also put all the colors that I use in the description box. I blanked, I'm sorry. Alright, so once I was satisfied, then I began to take just the purple by itself and kind of blend it in to the black, which, not too hard since they're both fairly dark colors. I put that in areas, kind of following the path that I have the black on already. I want to note really quickly that you guys should work pretty thinly. As you see, like a little bit is definitely going a long way. That way the nail won't be super like thick and bulky, and you won't have to, you won't accidentally rather file out any of the color and things you need later. So it's also why I really like the Valentino pigment colors, because I can achieve that when I do this. The nail's still super thin. Alright, as you can see, I chose orange to go with next. There are two oranges that I'll be using, but the other's not in frame. I picked the orange first because I'll be using the pink that you can see to kind of blend certain areas between the oranges and the purple. But for now, I'm just using the orange to kind of fill in the clear gaps that you see. Is up next. It's kind of like pink and purpley. Also one of my favorites. I'm a pink person. I don't know if you guys can tell via my Instagram or like my YouTube channel yet, but I definitely love any kind of like pink color. So as you can see, this is like where I was saying it's kind of like marbling. The areas aren't perfect, but that's what I love about them. Continue with the colors that I've been using so far and kind of add in, or will fill in and blend out in certain areas until I'm pretty much satisfied. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the beauty of some of these things. But like I said, work thin, work very, very thin. You'll thank me later. So here's that brighter orange I was talking about, and I believe that is where like the area is most heated. I don't know, honest to God, that was just BS. I have no idea if that is true, but again, for the picture reference that I used, there's like a lighter orange area and then there's like super bright orange area, so just mimicking the image a little bit, to my liking and in the best of my ability as well. Next up is this purplish, kind of bluish pigment that we have at the salon. I'm honestly not sure where it is from, but if you watch some of my other videos, Daily Charm has one that's pretty close. I think it's called Ruby. Either Ruby or Amethyst would work perfectly to do the same thing. Or honestly, if you just have a pigment at home, you could probably take something out of your highlighter palette and do the same thing if it was one you didn't want to waste or didn't mind using rather. But I kind of just placed that in the same areas where the purple and black met. That way it kind of has like a shimmer and a glow to it as well. Moving on, there is this slightly orange pigment, flakes I believe, from Wildflowers that I used, but I thought it was perfect to kind of center in the middle of like the orange spaces because it's glitter, and who doesn't love glitter? I'm gonna take a little bit of clear with some orange and go over the flakes and kind of marble it in a little bit just to add some depth to this. And then I'll probably end up adding a few more flakes on top of that as well. It's just gonna make this area look kind of like brighter and kind of pop more once I top coat it, which is the goal. In the photo there are a few random like black spots in there, so I wanted to add that as well. It's just something different again, so not everything's like super uniform and precise. Per usual, once you're satisfied, go ahead and cap everything. And because I still work super thin, something I'll continue to stress like throughout all of my videos, it's not something that I need to be super thick. So yeah. Alright y'all, we're all done. As you can see, it's still pretty thin. Now it's top coated, and that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial. I'm going to work on more. My New Year's resolution is to post a tutorial every 3 weeks at least. So feel free to comment, don't forget to subscribe, and if you have any tutorials you'd like me to do, go ahead and leave that as a comment as well. Thanks for watching.